Gamarjabat. Hi. Welcome to our new episode of Liberland in Georgia. We are shooting today in the area of Franklin Club, a classical liberalism think tank that helps to connect internationally people from all around the world and share their ideas, educate, and broaden the awareness of liberty. Today we have an amazing guest, Marianna Sadecka. Marianna, would you mind sharing with us what do you do currently? How are you connected to the libertarian ideas, philosophy, and how do you implement it into life?
Thank you, Samuela, for invitation. And finally, we already meet here in Georgia in Tbilisi. So my focus is on freedom, on financial freedom, personal freedom, and also art. So like last years, I helped with Parallel Polis in Prague and in Bratislava, a lot of Bitcoin conferences, and I already studied Austrian economist in Prague with amazing professors on the university, and I'm traveling all the time. And also, I used to be actress in a theater and journalist. So that's my background.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the introduction. Would you mind sharing the concept of Parallel Polis? I think that most of our viewers might not really know it. What is it? Where was it founded? What's the idea and vision? What are you doing? And so on.
Yes, of course. I really love the project of Parallel Polis because it was founded by Czech artistic group Ztoohoven, which is a really controversial artistic group, with a hardcore project for interrupting of social environment. And these artists, they connected with Slovak hackers. So it's like a super amazing combination of artistic minds and ethical hackers' minds. And they built the concept in Prague, in a real physical place, which was really amazing, and it's still there in Prague. Like it has 8 or 9 years from 2014. So, during the socialism, the concept of parallel polis was written by one really smart guy, Václav Benda. And he wrote the concept of parallel polis because he wrote that a real free society could be only there where they accept the parallel society, like a free parallel society, and this include parallel education, parallel financial system. We have Bitcoin right now, parallel artistic groups, and so on. It's like an anti-government project. It's like a parallel to government, to current government. Mm-hmm. So that's the Parallel Polis, and we have every year we have a Hacker Congress Parallel Polis, really famous event, not only about the technical stuff and about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Because Parallel Polis is like a think tank and like an educational center for digital privacy and so on. So all of these topics are in one black building in Holešovice in Prague, and also last time also in Bratislava, but we are closed right now.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. I would say that you really interconnect like-minded people in the spot as well. From what I remembered, I thought that there's like co-working space, is it true? And a cafe where there's no fiat accepted. And it was, I remember when it was opening, it was very controversial. You mentioned also Ztoohoven, which is to me a non-conformist project, I would call it, and I think it's highly controversial, and it actually some activities of Georgian fighters for freedom, if I could call it like that, remind me of some of the projects that were done by Ztoohoven. And would you mind sharing some of the ideas or something connected, something else, what Ztoohoven did?
Yes, but I have to say that the projects are very, very complex, and like medias used to take only the part of the project and explain in that way. But for example, one of the last projects was red pants on the Czech castle. So guys from this artistic group, they climbed on the Czech castle, and they changed the presidential flag, and they put their big red pants. And that was problem for many reasons, of course, but the symbol of red pants was symbol of friendship with communistic regimes of the president of Czech Republic. But the project was like older and older, and after 1 year nobody knew where is the flag, of course. Everybody were like, where is the flag? Where is the real flag, presidential flag? And then, like a few days before the process, the court, the flag not disappeared. The flag was there, and Ztoohoven cut the flag on more than 1,000 pieces, and put on every piece of the flag they put some bitcoins, and they decentralized the power of the president to the power of the people. So shortly, it's one of the projects was like that.
And where were the pieces distributed? Exactly.
On the street, okay. to random people.
Okay.
So I have also one of them. I really love this, and it has like the high artistic value right now in the market.
Yeah, I would say that it's like a second plan of the project. I like this, so that there's, you got the, as you mentioned, the media idea that it's seen, it looks controversial, and it gets the publicity, it gets the awareness, but at the same time, it has a second plan idea, and I mean, I really like it.
And I would like to ask you if it's possible to Georgia to have the project like this for the public opinion and from the point of government.
Or
I don't know.
I think that I'm not the right person to ask, but I think we may share here some ideas to local activists. Mm-hmm. I would say that to me, Georgians are very brave, and they are really expressing that they care about their freedom, and I noticed certain, first of all, of course, noticed serious protests here, like when something is happening, so people really share that they care, that they do not agree with the government, which I really appreciate. I wouldn't feel such, like really power and aim for the expression in Europe, maybe except for France. Like French people also go and protest and say that they do not like something the similar way.
What can I notice is that I really like the project of Ztoohoven and also the work of Parallel Polis, because always it's like a totally without violence, and it's like you are going to change something without violence and with the creativity.
Yeah.
And you are not going to going to the street and crash the cars or something. So I really like to change something with the creativity.
Yeah, agree. Well, I wanted to say that I feel here like two spheres. One is to go to a protest, and another one is exactly creating something similar like this by, especially I noticed these activities by the libertarian parties, and also like the think tanks that are here. Maybe because I find it really interesting, and to me this is actually something that really reminded me of Ztoohoven here in Georgia. So if you have any other interesting project that was realized in the Czech Republic by Ztoohoven, you would mention it. I find it really interesting because it's, it's outstanding, it's different, it's expressing some values, and I think it can be like really inspiring?
One of their first projects was like media's reality, and it was explode. They hacked the television, and you have like a live stream in television. You used to have like a live stream of some ski resort or some beautiful natures from somewhere, and it's a live camera. And they hacked this camera and put there like a like an atomic mushroom or the explode of the atomic bomb. And people were like, what the fuck is doing here in this television? So it was like a big problem, but the project was like a really, really complex. But it could be like in the current situation, if we trust in medias, in social media, in television, or not. And that time it was maybe 15 years ago, and it was like a super interesting. That people were like, oh, here is a real atomic bomb. No, I don't. It
yeah, I see. Maybe back to Parallel Polis. Are you planning to open some other branches around the world?
We had a branch in Parallel Polis in Bratislava, but 2 weeks before COVID regulation we closed the place, and it was a really smart decision because the COVID regulations. They were not only for 2 weeks, how many people expected at the beginning. So right now we are more remote from the around the world. So we are making we make events around the world. So conferences, sometimes in Bratislava, sometimes in Košice, in another city, sometimes in Panama, in Paraguay, and so on. So I think. And I also love to connect the people from Liberland with the people in Parallel Polis, because they are really connected with the minds.
Yeah.
So mostly, if they are like really looking for freedom, and they are creative individualistic with respect to others. It's beautiful.
In Parallel Polis, just to remind you, mostly organize events concerning cryptocurrencies and hacking, right? Or anything else?
Not only, like also digital privacy, but a lot of other events also, like biohacking events. We had a presentation from around the world about the traveling, like a traveling and economical point of view on the country. And about the free speech, for example, about the, for example, concept of crypto weddings. It was invented in Parallel Polis in Bratislava, because there were like a LGBT protest, and and our lawyer were like, no, I'm not going there. I'm going to write. I'm going to create something, and he wrote the contracts, like a really good contracts for changing the situation between the partners, only homosexual partners, between anybody who wants to be together. And yes, and it's like so that was our approach to create, not to hate, and that's beautiful. And also Liberland the same, I think so. For me, it's I met so many great people in Liberland with this mindset.
Okay, that's really nice. We will get to this. I wanted to mention that in case someone like-minded wanted to organize something here in Georgia connected to Parallel Polis, if they like the concept, so they can contact you.
Yeah, it's possible. I think it's totally possible, and we are ready for sharing our ideas, our experiences in Prague and in Bratislava.
You mentioned before our interview that you were already in Georgia before, and you were connected to some other libertarian projects. Would you mind sharing?
Yes,
what was it about?
First time I realized today that my Instagram was I started my Instagram before I went to Georgia
Wow.
first time. So that's the exact date. And first time it was like just a vacation, exploring the country. We had a beautiful road trip. And then I think it was Friedrich Neumann Foundation. And they invited me for like artistic freedom and artistic related project here in Georgia. So we spent 1 week here with beautiful people around from the Europe. So it was really nice and yes, really good event. And that time I explored that the Georgia is going like up with everything.
Okay. Is there anything else like what was your first time when you visited Georgia?
I think 2016, 17,
Okay.
16 maybe.
Is there anything particular that really like brought your attention, that it really improved?
Yes, like a capitalism, of course. How people do their business is like really beautiful to see. And I was exploring why, because in Slovakia we have really smart people, but the problem is they are afraid to do business, and also like small businesses. One part of this is that you need so many papers from the government to start a business, so you are afraid of starting something. But also like this, like a natural instinct, or how to say, here is like a much better. And I think we were in the city, and one friend who lives here, he told me like here was like the Silk Road. So like a Silk Road market, it used to be also here. So maybe they learn something from from the time, and it's still here in the people. So it's really beautiful. But the shops are like really interesting, but like local shops. When people do by themselves, like small things also.
Would you be more specific? Like?
For example, yesterday I found like a beautiful shop, not only one, few shops with a bag from leather. Yeah, like beautiful and high quality. So.
Georgian designers, that's a different topic. Yeah, it's really amazing, and but I feel here in general that the thing is that it's really easy to enter the market when you want to start and try the entrepreneurship here when you want to sell whatever you create or so on. You get 0% tax on it and so on. So that's a real difference, because as you mentioned, like comparing it to Europe, you need many papers and still you don't know whether you're compliant. If you're not compliant, you get fined. One of my friends, he also loves Georgia. He wanted to move here, but because of his family, he couldn't. So he was mentioning that he was running an online shop for a year, and it was with jewelry. And after a year, he made some, like a real profit was some 1,500 lari, because he didn't like push it that much. He was focused on his major job, full-time job mainly. And after that 1 year, he got those 1,500 lari profit, and then he got a message, a letter from some governmental ministry of whatever, I don't know, or how is it called? It was like a governmental office, and they were like saying, we were making a test order from you, and we found that at some of your jewelry there was 2% of gold, and you haven't registered at this governmental office, and that's why you get fined for some 4,000 lari. And he was like, okay, so all my profit gone. Wow. I'm closing it. He sold it and he gave it up, because and it was still okay. Like, of course it can be more serious, but it's true that running around, you need to pay a lot of people. You need to pay the lawyers, accountant, and so on, just to begin the big business, which is a lot of expenses. And still, I remember how I was scared that I do something wrong, and so on. And you don't want to have problem with the governmental offices in Europe, and you're still just a freelancer, for example. Yeah. So thanks for pointing this out. Beside Georgian designers, is there anything else that you found really interesting and maybe unusual compared to other countries?
I would like to explore more like underground, underground artistic scene. That's my program for next visit, maybe. But also this banking system is really great. The food is really great. I don't want to make that this country is totally ideal. No, never.
There's no ideal country.
No other country. No, it's not like a totally perfect. But here is like a really comfortable, and I can imagine to live here right now because also like there's all services. Really good people, and what I love on Georgia and in Slovakia, I have the little bit bigger problem to find it. It's silence.
Oh,
silence.
Yeah, I see.
Here you are going to the mountains, and not too far, and there is like a real silence. You are going to monastery.
Yeah,
it's a real silence. So that's really beautiful.
Well, the best things are precious and often for free. Well, thank you so much. So if someone knew about some underground artistic places, please let Marianna know. And maybe just to mention, because you're also the representative of Liberland to Slovakia, right? When did you connect it to Liberland and how your path was going to today?
I think first time I met Lička, my favorite guy from the project, of course. He's from Czech Republic, so yeah, I used to live in Prague. We met maybe shortly after the beginning of the project, and I know that maybe we went for a first anniversary on Donau to the Liberland, and the problem was that there were like so many Croatian boats with the police. And on the land of Liberland, there were like real guys with the guns, like from Croatia, from the police, and we were like, okay, this is like a not only social experiment. How I used to talk about Liberland, that it's a great social experiment. What kind of hardcore is to find a new state right now? But at that time we were like, okay, Liberland really exists because this Croatian guys with the guns, with the police.
And maybe how did it go? Like, did you get to prison?
No,
not this time.
That time, no. I would lie. I never been in a Croatian prison, but Lička many times, and I know the like a really good scene from the prison, from the police station, because. Croatia, they think that it's like a secret project of some other country or something, and it's just no, that's not like that. And they were like screaming on Lička that this your country is only in your head, it's only in your mind, it's not real. And Lička told them like your country also. So I don't want to be like totally anti, but just to think about this concept, we have it like totally in our heads and in our minds, but sometimes we have to think again. Really?
Yeah. It's like a social construct based on our common belief that there's some power above us.
Yeah, I think that it helps many times. That's the reason why we are still thinking in these ways. But sometimes we need to reorganize in our heads.
Yeah, well said. It might be far too philosophical concept for the first timers who get to this libertarian philosophy idea that, oh, everything I always believed, it's not really real. It's been created, and it's just because we keep forgetting that it wasn't used to be like that before. Yeah, nice thought. And as a representative to Slovakia, what did you do about the community, or did you meet some interesting people around the
Of course.
project?
I organized some meetup in Slovakia, also in Parallel Polis. That was the place in Slovakia where people from Liberland used to come, because we had a Bitcoin ATM, so it was like all in one, like a Bitcoin education, like a Bitcoin education, meeting with the great people, and so on, and some new concept for the country. And also, I organized a few meetups abroad, in Ecuador and also in Colombia. And somewhere, and always it was like the community around the Liberland. It's amazing everywhere. So I think that also here in Georgia, you have really good people. I know there are so many libertarians, also because Students for Liberty, I think this Friedrich Naumann Foundation, many institutions or groups of people. It's beautiful.
Franklin Club.
Oh, of course, yes.
Especially.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really shocked by, I don't know if there is something like that in Prague. I mean, there are really several clubs like that not only unify people that are like-minded, but they really educate, they organize weekend getaways and so on. It's interactive, and it's not like pushing boring education, but it really shapes the mind, and I think that it broadens the opportunities of people in the long term, because if you think differently, you can see that your word understanding is not like this, but the options are not just here. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm happy for every such community. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Marianna, for the interview. I really appreciate it, and see you in the artistic underground next time here in Georgia. We'll be happy to see you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much for your attention. I hope that you enjoyed the episode. If you got any questions or any recommendation for the next day of Marianna, please let us know in the comments. We'll be looking forward for your feedback, and take care. Marla Badidi.